Hey V, how's the Earth looking from way up there? She as pretty as they say? Or is that just another lie? Listen, don't forget, your implants were made for Earth gravity. Could start acting up in orbit. What I'm trying to say is, don't ignore any error warnings, okay? And when you're back, I mean, if you come back, I'll do a full checkup. Maybe even give you a little discount. Take care, V.
Hey, V! Long time no see. Let me guess, you still the top of your game in all of Night City? Yeah, I left all that. I guess I'm just calling to say thanks. For everything. Wasn't until I'd left everything behind that I realized how depressed I was for all that time. Take it from me, V. If you ever get the chance, just leave. Leave and don't look back. The weight it takes off your shoulders, I can't even describe it. All right, enough lecturing. Take it easy, man. Hello, V. How are things? Weather in the Badlands is pleasant as usual. My cooler melted, it's 90 degrees in the shade, and there's sandstorms heading straight for us. So yeah, you're missing out. No, but seriously, we're doing all right. Saul and I somehow get along, for better or for worse. But still, family's always growing, work's always piling up. But better to keep busy, right? And to think if it wasn't for you, I'd still be stumbling my way through Night City. So I just want to say thank you. For all you've done for me. I'd still be lost if you hadn't set me on the right track. All right, well, talk soon, V. Don't be a stranger.
Hello, V. Saul speaking. Heard about something big happening in Night City, with a certain V in the lead role. Don't know what you plan to do now, but just remember, we always take care of our own. And, you're one of us now, V. You're an Alda Caldo. Remember that. Take care of yourself, V. And see you around.
V, hey! Can you hear me? Shit, is this thing recording? Okay, well, all of us have been wondering when you're finally gonna drop by. We can get a barbecue going, knock a few back, do a couple of races, or pay a friendly visit to the Raft and Shiv. Guess what I'm trying to say is, well, Badlands could use a badass like you, V. Don't know what you got on your plate right now, but remember, you're welcome out here anytime. All right, now, take care.
Hey, Rogue here. I wanted to... Oh, voicemail. Why not? V? I was wondering if you could pass the message along to Johnny. 2 messages, actually. One, that he's an arrogant, egotistical son of a bitch. And second, that it was nice to talk to him again. Both of you, take care of yourselves, okay?
V, hey. So, here's the thing. A couple fellas from the 5th Precinct busted a shop selling illegal iron. Sawed-offs, stun guns, mustard gas canisters. Orders from on up were to blow it all to the ground. But then I thought, well, maybe there's a better way to use all this stuff for a good cause. I still remember what you did for us. For me and Randy. This city needs more people like you. And I'm gonna make sure they're equipped. This one's on me, V. See you around. Hey, it's Peralez. V, you're gonna want to hear this. But first, we need to go somewhere no one's listening. Okay, so my wife, Elizabeth, she's in on the whole thing. She keeps saying I should look after myself. Tells me to take these pills. Says they're vitamins. Got them analyzed at a lab. And they look okay. But how am I supposed to know if somebody didn't falsify the results? Well, when you got a sec, call me, okay? Oh yeah, and don't forget to delete this message.
That guy's freaking out.
Hey V, orbital connections cost an arm and a leg, so I'll just get right to it. I was just thinking about you, so I laid out a quick tarot and... Oh dear. The Fool, the Moon, the High Priestess. Those are bad cards. Keep a close eye on your new friends, V. I mean it.
Dang, man. Dang, man. This ending sucks. And not like in a bad way. It sucks in the like, dang, that was like the worst possible outcome. And that is unfortunate. Holy cow. Holy cow. That needs to go. I need to write this down real quick. Acres equal 4.8. My mouse wheel is not reducing the volume. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll give my thoughts now on the game. Okay, so my overall thoughts, I think the game is awesome. My experience definitely doesn't line up with many others, but my expectations don't either. I wasn't expecting the most amazing game to ever come out of the universe in CD Projekt Red. I just wanted, a fun game, a good game, and, a game that I could enjoy. And I got exactly that. In fact, I wanted a Deus Ex and Mass Effect game mashed into one, and I got that. And that's basically what this is. It feels a lot like that. I feel like the choices, the characters, the way the storyline goes, it's all done really well, and I dig it. I will definitely say the attitude surrounding the game has been exhausting. There's so much negativity attached to Cyberpunk, and it's so popular to feed off of. It's bled into my overall enjoyment of internet browsing, and I wish it could be dialed back 75%. This has definitely hurt my experience with the game a tad. Nothing significant, but it does just kind of suck to open up Reddit every morning and see, 5 threads on Cyberpunk and bugs this and problems there. It's just kind of exhausting to look at. It also kind of hurts because I'm not really getting that experience, but I sympathize. I understand that other people are getting those issues, and like the console issues, those are some really big issues. But the game experience that I got was just phenomenal, honestly. I mean, it was really good. I don't even know what else to say about that. And then I mentioned while playing, but CD Projekt Red have a good track record fixing up their games. They said they're going to fix the games, so I wish we could chill and let them do that. that's that's kind of the wavelength I'm on right now. I don't feel like it's really necessary to day after day bash the same company for the same issues, for everything that's going on. At least a company that has a track record of fixing things. You know, if this was like some other company, you know, maybe we'd have to look at things a little bit more closely. But Witcher 3, from what I've heard and read and all that other good stuff, had similar problems on a similar scale to what people are experiencing with Cyberpunk 2077. And look at Witcher 3 now. You know, Witcher 3 is one of the more revolutionary open world games out there for storytelling and open world games. So I don't know, like I think we just need to see where things go from here. But yeah, overall, I like the game a lot. I think the game is absolutely fantastic. And yeah. For story, was it satisfying? I've done 2 endings. I'm going to do the Johnny ending after this. I would say... This is one of those situations where, like, is it satisfying? Yes. Is the ending that I inevitably chose, was that where I wanted things to go? Absolutely not. It was yikes. There's just a whole lot of yikes there. But you know, okay, whatever. It's fine. So I would say the story is satisfying. I like where things go, and I like how all the characters kind of interacted with all of those things. It was really nice. How was the pacing? I actually think the pacing in this game is actually kind of nice. There is a small issue where you have to like do side quests and wait for people, but you could just actually wait. You could feasibly beat this game somewhat quickly. But you know, I spent 50, 60... How much time did I spend on this game? No, I don't want to update right now. Well, I guess I gotta wait. I gotta close the game to figure out. But we were at 49 minutes, 39 or 49 hours, 39 minutes. So wherever we're at with there, this is a 6-hour, 46-minute stream. So 55 hours or so. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game, and there's still stuff I haven't even done. Who knows where all that stuff would have branched off to. And then thoughts on the story. Something going wrong during the heist mission was something I expected, although I found myself a little surprised just how things went awry. With me choosing Corpo, the Arasaka meeting actually felt relevant to me, even if I only knew those characters by reputation. This was something really, really cool. And I don't know if I wrote this down specifically, but I'll say it here. The amount of times that that I was capable of calling back to my Corpo background was very significant. And it actually made me feel like those options were relevant and interesting to the conversation at hand. It was really neat to kind of flex my Corpo knowledge. And I liked that a lot. I really liked that a lot. 9 hours in, I have to admit that I was expecting Dexter Deshawn to betray me. It hurt a little bit because I vouched for him and proved my loyalty. But I do understand why he did it. Just sucks that I'm gonna have to kill him somehow. Well, we kind of got robbed on that one, but yeah, you know, I I kind of played this game with the loyalty route, you know? And I didn't get rewarded for being loyal, I don't think, a single time. Yeah, like everyone just kind of did their own thing and screwed me over the first opportunity that presented itself. So if I could do things differently, I would probably be a little less I don't know, a little less loyal, I suppose. The lack of choices affecting outcomes doesn't bother me, although there is a hint of disappointment on my end. So there are definitely a lot of choices that would make this game kind of get flipped on its head, I suppose. But ultimately, I'm not bothered by the lack of choices affecting the story. You know, I'm following the character of V. You know, I'm just choosing options that I like, you know. I'm not one of those immersive players that, you know, I go into the character and I'm playing that character and I'm making decisions with that character's psyche, I guess. You know, I'm just making decisions that I like. You know, that's just how I play these type of games. The side quests are actually done quite well and are very enjoyable. Holy cow, are some of these side quests insane. Like, absolutely insane. Insane on, like, the literal sense of, like, you have to be freaking nuts. And insane, like, holy crap, that was amazing and awesome and epic. It fills in every single in-between there. And I was very pleased with the side quests. There were still side quests that I haven't even done, and there's side quests that I didn't even do. There was a side quest where I wasn't feeling it, but at the end, you do some real messed up stuff. Real messed up stuff. For the writing, I'm enjoying the writing. I do feel like I'm in a specific futuristic setting. The language used really helps drive this forward and solidify what type of world we live in. I actually really enjoy how they approach this because, other than like curse words every 5 sentences or something like that, there are other aspects that make this feel like what I would imagine a cyberpunk world to be. You know, they're saying like, you're a gonk or something like that, or you're other terms that I can't quite think of at the moment off the top of my head. But the language that they use, it's very prevalent, and that just helps solidify that, you know, you're actually exploring this world, and it's cool. And then I also I want to touch on the ending a little bit, in the sense of I think it's kind of cool that there are multiple endings, and all things considered, I actually think this ending has a lot of appeal to it, in the sense of you live by Arasaka, you die by Arasaka. This ending was kind of crazy because Arasaka kept their word, but it was still arguably the worst outcome. You know, like it's kind of funny that of all the routes that I've done so far, Johnny's being left over, but I can imagine the Johnny one is going to end in a suicide mission. It all just seems to lead towards death. Doesn't seem like there's a happy ending right now. But maybe the Johnny one is a happy ending. We'll find out. But I like the direction that these endings are going. You can go out your own way. You could go out the corpo route, or you could go out in a blaze of glory. Especially in that ending sequence with Johnny there, where he actually hearkened back to Dexter Deshawn about living the quiet life or going out in a blaze of glory. And it's kind of funny that they ask you that question so early on in the game and then make that significant at the end, you know? I thought that was cool. Thought that was really cool. For characters, Jackie was a nice character. He felt like one of those honest street thugs, not honest in terms of his profession, but honest in terms of loyalty and dedication to his friends and associates. He possessed genuine likability. Jackie was just such a cool character, you know, like he's one of those guys who's like, yeah, you know, like being around this guy is cool. There ain't nothing wrong with homeboy Slice here. I like Jackie. I also thought Pan Am was pretty cool. She was very down to earth and just a nice person, you know? Takamura, he's cool. Takamura was my dog, man. He is my dog. He is so literal with everything, and it's fun to kind of pick on him with that stuff. I like Takamura. Johnny is cool. Johnny is real cool. I mean, it takes a little bit for Johnny to kind of like stop being a douchebag and start being, you know, like a friendly person, you know, like he makes that journey, and the more side quests you do, the more that becomes apparent. So I really like that a lot. And it might be easier to say who isn't cool. Delamain isn't cool, mostly because he's weird. Fingers wasn't cool. My goodness, Fingers was creepy. Fingers, holy freaking cow. Fingers was written really well and acted even better. But holy crap, was that guy creepy. And I think the Delamain thing, it was like it was a good his ending sequence for his quest, at least what I think it was his ending sequence, was really good. I liked the story and the arc of his side quest. I just think him as a character, those type of monotone, boring voice deliveries or roboticness, I suppose, they just don't lend well to my likes, but it was still done really well. There's probably some other characters that I'm leaving out too. But there's a lot of characters I liked in this game. A lot of characters. For gameplay mechanics and design, what gameplay elements stand out? Not a big fan of the inventory system. There's a lot of information on the screen at once, and in certain circumstances, that information visibly blocks sections of the inventory. I've quite a few issues with the inventory system. It kind of, I don't want to say resets, but it updates, I suppose, every time you sell something. Things move around in the inventory when you sell things. The information boxes are covering up other parts of the inventory. It's not very easy to navigate. It could use some work. It could use some work. Perhaps from an overall perspective, I think the UI is likely not my preference. There's a great deal of submenus, and discovering how to navigate it is very cumbersome. I kind of touched on this, but yeah, there's just kind of weird things going on with the menus that seem, I don't want to say seem unnecessary, but just seem overly complicated for what I feel it should do. The inventory system is spread across multiple different types. I honestly tried to stay out of some of the inventories, like consumables and things like that, because that's just a nightmare to go through. I don't want to put up with whatever it was that was in those inventories. The open world aspects of the game are a little daunting. The game doesn't really ease you into them, so I felt a little overwhelmed by the choices. This is an interesting aspect as well, because the side quests don't... The side quests are kind of eased into, but all that open world stuff, that stuff is all over the place. Like, as soon as you leave, you open up your map, you got stuff all around you. It's like, what am I supposed to do? It's insane. 9 hours in, I'm not sure if I have done a proper side quest or just map objectives. But if I have, they don't feel engaging. They're essentially just extermination missions with no lore or development to go with them. So, as I was playing this game, I've been seeing a lot of tweets and whatnot saying like, oh my goodness, the side quests in this game are so good. But all I had done was like map objectives and gigs and things like that. And the only thing I could think of was, well, are these the side quests? If these are the side quests, like, I don't see what's amazing about these at all. But then I got the side quests, you know? Then I got the side quests and things started going down. So that was great. Let's see. This is a problem I have with a lot of games, but I do find it very unfortunate that you need to build your character before understanding the large lexicon of words and jargon. Instead of building my character in a way that fits my playstyle, I built it in a way I thought had potential to be interesting. Once I got hands-on in the game, I quickly learned that some of my points could have gone elsewhere. This is a very tough thing to kind of talk about, but because in a sense of character creation, it makes so much sense to build how your character is before the game. There's so much involved that, you know, that's like the pen and paper way. The issue there, though, is, you know, all of those ability areas, I don't know anything about them. I'm just choosing things that sound cool. I don't even get to see all the perks that are associated with them. So I'm just kind of stuck blindly choosing what I think is going to be relevant. And it ends up being a trap because, yeah, I win intelligence and I locked myself into intelligence and I'm happy with my choice of intelligence, but I'm not necessarily happy with going tech or necessarily happy with going cool. You know, I would have probably put my points into reflex and body were I to start again. Probably more body than reflex, and then just have reflex be my secondary stat that I level up after intelligence. After having become familiar with how the game operates and how those stats and perks function, it informs your decision much better. So I would have loved to see that particular portion of character creation or just stat allocations happen after you get into a few missions, you know, after the tutorial or something like that. So at least you have some hands-on of everything that's going on. A lot to go. Let's see. I find the way skills and attributes are handled to be really cool. Gaining attribute points, which grant a variety of stat bonuses and perks, and perk points, which are essentially skill points for abilities. And under each attribute are a bunch of skills that level up as you perform them, which give their own benefits with every level. Very neat system. It is very, very cool I was going to use cool as an example, but I can't say cool and cool at the same time. So it's very, very cool that I can be a hacker, okay? And I hack somebody, I breach them, and I get quick hack experience or breach experience. And my breach level goes up. And as my breach level goes up, I get access to a bunch of bonuses, perks, and a variety of other things. That's super cool. And that's totally separate from me getting stat ups, which increase other bonuses. And that's totally different from perks, which give me other bonuses. It's a really neat system, and I thought it all complemented very well. Some things are not easy to level up. Some things are a lot easier than others. I didn't get anything to max level, but I think the system is really, really nice. I dig it a lot. I don't like the driving. WASD doesn't work for me, primarily in first person. Third person feels better, but I prefer mouse driving. I believe I wrote this yesterday or the day before. Thinking about this a little bit more, I don't necessarily know if mouse driving would be better, but I would have liked to at least test it out and see if that was my preferred choice. You could always lock out of mouse movement when you're in the passenger seat, and that would have been fine. But at least the way it's implemented now, WASD movement in the car is rough times. Tech weapons are insane. Specifically charge shot. Find a sniper with that and you're unstoppable. Holy cow. 20, 30 hours into the game, I don't remember what exactly. I jumped up onto the roof and I was using my sniper rifle to attack people from the roof and kill them, and they couldn't do anything to me. That is ridiculously OP. Now, granted, at the end there, I messed around with the smart bullet option, and that one's pretty strong too. I was mowing down people with that pistol. It was pretty nice. So, I mean, there you go. There you go. Also, those speed numbers gotta be filthy lies. Big X to doubt that speed. Gotta be way lower than shown. What do you mean by speed, Ken? I don't know what exactly you're talking about. Unless you're talking about like how fast the cars move. In which case I thought they were moving decently quick, but you know, it's whatever. The police system. As it currently stands, it's a nuisance. Thing is, all police systems are for me. I'd actually rather there be no police system at all. So I only engaged purposefully in the police system a couple of times to see what it does. And there's not much benefit to engaging in the police system. Which kind of begs the question, if there's no benefit to that system, why is it there? Well, I'm sure you could think, well, it's to discourage you from breaking the law and things like that. Thing is, there's no benefit to breaking the law either. You know, killing random people on the street doesn't really get you anything. It doesn't help you at all. And so that's the discouragement right there. But you know what really sucks? Is when you're driving down the street like a madman, and then you turn that corner a little too late, or you have a car that just doesn't turn corners very well, and you run over like 3 people, and now the police are on you. It's just annoying, you know. I don't think I killed. Other than the times where I was testing things, I don't think I killed a civilian on purpose. A single time. There were some times where like I was shooting people that were green, but I didn't understand those mechanics at the time. I'm just not with the police system. And the big one here. The bugs don't bother me. Honestly, the ones I experienced were funny. The only bugs that bother me are the ones that prevent me from playing. To that effect, I got a blue screen once and I crashed once. For 40 plus hours, that's really good. For finishing the game, I think that's really good. I blue screened when I booted up the game for the first time, and the game said, hey, do you want to send data to CD Projekt Red to, help improve the game and crashes and things like that? And I was like, yeah. So I pressed yes, and my computer blue screened. But after that, didn't get a single blue screen afterwards. And I got one crash. I don't remember where it was. It was when I was driving the car and I hit something or I made a turn or something like that, and then the game just crashed. I didn't really lose much of any progress to that crash. But yeah, like I didn't experience any bugs that were significant to me. There were some bugs that weren't enjoyable. There were things stuck on the screen, or like a weapon inspection thing on the screen, and some of those things were annoying, but it's just like, okay, it's a bug, it's on the screen, I just won't pay attention to it, and there you go, move on. It's easy for me. This is interesting that they quoted these books and then they're also putting them in the credits. Let's see. I like the map and I enjoy how much there is to do on it. I like that you have waypoints to quests and waypoints to objectives, aka I don't have to choose between the two. I do wish that you could toggle certain markers off. For example, food shops. I don't care about food shops, so I wish I didn't see them on the map. Ripper docks. There was a point where I didn't really care about Ripper docks anymore, so it'd be great if I could turn that off. There's just a lot of icons, and if you're looking for something very specific, it would be really nice if you could just shut everything off except for that one thing and figure out how you want to go from there, or maybe you want to add some other things onto the list and try to like route a way where you can go to certain things. Would be kind of cool. I'd like to see actual side quests look different than things like gigs or car purchases. This one was a little bit annoying to me. Main quests are yellow circles with an exclamation point in them, and it's filled with yellow, while as every other side mission kind of thing is a yellow circle that's empty on the inside with an exclamation point, something like that. And I wish side quests were like blue or green or something like that, just something to have it stand out from all the other clutter and noise on the map. And I value the fast travel system. Glad it's there. I'm super glad it's there. Driving across that city, it's a lot of work. The city is pretty big, and as I mentioned, running over stuff, there's police and junk. It's a lot. Text messages with associates definitely doesn't work as intended. However, beyond that, I wish I didn't have to go to the entire menu to reply to people. This was something that kind of bugged me a lot. I wish I could open up my phone menu, and if someone had messaged me, I could press like F or tab or something like that. And to the side of it, their message would be right there and I can reply to it, or all of their messages or whatever. Instead, I open up my phone, I click reply to them, and it opens up a whole nother menu. It doesn't even send me to their particular message. It opens up just the whole menu, and I have to find their message on a list of all the contacts that I've ever contacted. It's actually a lot of cumbersomeness. Words. This is a weird one, but during segments where V is talking to people, I wish the crosshair dot went away. This does happen in like specific moments where you can't move around or anything like that, and you could just talk to people. But I kind of wish it went away for any time I was talking to somebody, and as soon as the talking ended, it would come back. I wish that would happen. Let's see. The breach minigame is fun. I liked it a lot. I liked it. Yep, it was great. The amount of verticality is actually surprising. Never would have guessed you could jump on buildings or do platforming puzzles to get to a roof. This was actually one of the more surprising things for me. Never would have I expected, never would I have expected that I could jump on a lot of the roofs that I did. That one time where I got on the roof and sniped people through the roof, or the ceiling, that was just like, I'm just gonna try and see if I can do this, and somehow it worked out without double jump, by the way. Super cool. While doing and redoing the Sinnerman side quest, it really opened my eyes to how many permutations and variation there are. That's really cool that people can get slightly different interactions with the environment. This is definitely a little thing, but it's a really cool little thing. Like, oh man, I did this one side quest and the truck like totally flipped on its side and exploded. And then this other person be like, oh man, that truck didn't explode for me. Instead, it turned on its side and just like did a 360 and knocked cars all over the place. This is kind of cool. Not every quest has to play out exactly the same as far as the world or the environment. So I thought that was cool. Rarity system is cool and unexpected. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a epic, legendary, uncommon kind of loot system going on here. I thought it was cool. Being able to upgrade and craft stuff is cool. This is another system that I wasn't actually expecting, and a system that I actually enjoyed. I didn't use it very much, granted. It wasn't necessary for me, but I played around with it a little bit to see how things go, and I'm glad it's there. The loading times are great for an open world game. Yeah, I think the loading times were, like 10 to 20 seconds? Considering other games out there with loading screens and them being open world, I think Witcher 3 comes to mind for me. Loading times can take a while, even on SSDs. Okay, we're almost there, people. We're almost there. For combat. As crazy as this sounds, I actually like the combat. I feel like I like the feel of the shooting, and although melee combat is a little wonky, it works for me. I would definitely say that my impressions of the melee combat are more negative than the shooting, in the sense of, like, if the shooting is up here, then the melee is like right here. It's lower on the totem pole, but I actually still found myself enjoying it. It's a little crazy to have a katana that attacks 5 times a second, and you're just charging at someone like Adam Smasher and just hacking them to pieces, and you're just like running in circles. You don't know what's going on, but you're swinging your sword 5 times a second, and it's crazy. So I was having a good time. I do admit I'd love to see this in a turn-based format. Oh my goodness. When I thought about this a couple of days ago, and it kind of blew my mind how this could work in like a turn-based way, and how much I would have enjoyed it that much more. I'm not the biggest action RPG kind of person, but when it comes to turn-based games, it's nice being able to take your time. And granted, there was a lot of opportunities for me to actually take my time. Me being a hacker gave me a lot of options, which I don't actually have here, strangely enough. But hacking in combat is actually insanely good. Like, absolutely insanely good. Sure, you could run up on people and shoot them or hit them with your sword or whatever. Or you could just hack them. And all the hacks that I was messing with are pretty good, doing damage, blinding them. Ping is super good. The whole hacking part of this game was phenomenal for me. I liked it a lot. That being said, hacking is a little inconsistent. Sometimes I get slowed down, other times I don't. Sometimes I hack someone 3+ times, other times just once. There is a little bit of inconsistency that I don't understand yet about the hacking. And like sometimes I get that one hack and then it locks out everything, but I have, plenty of RAM to go and I don't understand why. Well, there's stuff like that. No, nothing about dungeons. No cardinal sins. Nope, no cardinal sins that I can think of. For miscellaneous sound and music. Some nice music in this game, man. There was some nice music. A lot of it is not necessarily my kind of music, but there's a lot of really enjoyable tracks, especially if you like like the rock or metal type of music. This really does a good job with that stuff. There's a couple rap songs, okay, and some of those rap songs, they sounded like bangers, but I didn't really get a chance to listen to them all that much. I believe the GOG edition, which I have, has the soundtrack, so I'll have to give that a listen for level up this playlist. Yeah. For voice acting, some quality voice acting all around. Very, very good. I don't think there were any characters in this game that I would say had voice acting that I wasn't pleased with. Even Fingers, this voice actor made him all the more creepy. Like that stuff is crazy. Takamura, I don't know if these were necessarily Japanese voice actors playing the Arasakas, but it really felt like they nailed the accent really well, and that English might be their second language, or just not as well mastered as Japanese, because they spoke Japanese perfectly, or at least what sounded to me like being perfect, because I don't speak Japanese. But speaking, and while I'm on that, I really liked how when characters would speak other languages, they would have the subtitles show up in the original language, and then it would flip into the translated one. And so, like, for a brief moment, you could see what they say in their original language, and then you actually get to read along with it. I dig it a lot. I thought that was really cool. For graphics, as per usual, I don't necessarily care how well the graphical fidelity of a game is. That being said, I like the look of it. DLSS was required to get some things or something that looked appealing, but overall the look of the game is something I like. I don't even think that's necessarily true. I wrote that quite a while back. Definitely when I booted up the game at first and we were in character creation, my character was not looking good. He was looking busted up. And after I had tinkered with the settings and activated DLSS, things started looking much better. But more than likely, it was me turning off ray tracing that actually brought the game to look like I was expecting it to look. And like I said, I don't necessarily care about graphics. I've played Trails of Cold Steel 1, and that game is like a 2014, 15, 16 game that looks like an early 2000s game. You know, like it's blocky, the animation can be rough, but you know, like the graphics, I'm not the graphics head kind of person. That being said, though, if I bought this game on PS4 and at least from the footage that I've seen, I don't know if that's how the game would have looked for me, but at least based off the footage that I've seen, I would be quite a bit taken aback. Be like, man, this game don't look too good. Looks a little rough. But yeah, at least for PC, I thought the graphics looked great. I'm very pleased with them. Especially like the facial animations and things like that. They did a really good job with that kind of stuff. You know, well played. Replay value. Okay, this one's an interesting one because I highly doubt that there is replay value in the sense of, does the game offer additional story content in a second playthrough to warrant playing the game again? And at least me playing it on Corpo, it doesn't seem like there's any additional routes that I can take that would change the end outcome or the in-between outcomes. It's just various voice lines or various lines that are inserted. That being said, the beginning of the game changes, and presumably how you get to certain points like Dexter and things like that are drastically different. So there's a potential there. I'm going to say there is no replay value in this, but there's a possibility of that being there. But the more I think about it, the more doubtful it is. And for last, if the developer is watching, just to get it out of the way, the game definitely needs some work. There's bugs abound. There are issues abound. There are bugs abound. But a lot of those bugs are very minor, at least in my experience. That being said, a lot of people out there are getting some really nasty bugs. So definitely the first task is to clean that up and kind of get things to the state that people are looking to get. And that's going to take some time. I consider myself, a fairly reasonable person. Some may call me a shill. Some may call me other things, but ultimately, I think the game that I played and the experience I got from my playthrough was exactly what I was looking for. So you don't necessarily need to fix the game, like on my behalf. It's definitely those people out there that are hurt by the experience and wanted a different experience. Get that game up to snuff so that they can like it too. And I have all the confidence that you're capable of doing that. I definitely think that if you are working on an expansion or you are working on a multiplayer component for this, I would highly recommend that you kind of set that aside and get this game back to meeting at least some of the expectations that people have laid forth for this massive game. It may have met most, if not all, of my expectations, but there are definitely people out there that are struggling with it. So I say just keep on keeping on. I'm happy with the experience I got, and I'm looking forward to how the game continues to be updated, whether that be bug fixes and patches, expansions, or sequels, or even this multiplayer thing that you guys have mentioned a few times. I'm very curious to see how things evolve from here. So yeah, thanks for the game. I appreciate being able to play it, and I hope to see more in the future. But that's going to wrap it up for my thoughts here. I am now going to do the I'm going to say the last ending, which is Johnny. So I'm going to mark it here. Yeah.